Good afternoon from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Tuesday, December 29th market update. On the economic front, S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index showed little change month to month and just slight improvement year over year. Consumer confidence was in line at 52.9. Forecast was for 53. Tomorrow we have the Chicago PMI, which is forecast at 59, and we also have the EIA Petroleum Status Report. The dollar and oil were up, gold, silver, and copper were down. Light sweet crude futures were up 10 cents to settle at $78.87 a barrel. Quick look at the West Texas Intermediate Crude point and figure chart. We're still right here in this area. We have this resistance right around 80. Let's go over and take a look at the Dow. The Dow closed down 1 point to 10,545. The S&P closed down 1 point to 1,126, and the Nasdaq closed down 2 points to 2,288. Dow had the smallest percent loss, down only 0.02%, and the S&P and Nasdaq were both down around the same amount, about 0.13%. So we're looking at the Dow. We had this breakout at 10,500, which should now be new support. So we're still hanging around up here. I like the MACD has actually turned up here, and we broke out above this kind of downtrending this trend line. This bearish trend line I have drawn on here. This here is a tombstone doji, which is basically it's kind of bearish, and it's supposedly an uptrend killer, but that'll remain to be seen. Like I said, should have pretty strong support here at this 10,500. So let's look at the SPX. SPX, again, and we've talked about this MACD where it's making lower highs, and now we're right about where we should have some resistance on this bearish trend line I have drawn. And the market's really strong, and we didn't really do much of anything today. And we should have some resistance up here, though, around this 11,140 to 1,150 area. So let's see if we can get there before we have a pullback, which we're definitely kind of due for, but doesn't mean it'll happen. Let's look at GS, Goldman Sachs. Looks good, nice tight consolidation. XLF, same thing, tight consolidation, really going nowhere. Let's look at gold. Whoops, gold, the gold ETF. Trap between its support at 105 and its new resistance at 110. Not going much of anywhere. Silver had this breakout of this falling wedge continuation type pattern. Of course, we had no volume when we broke out up to the upside, so now I'm pulled back about 2%. Something to keep an eye on. At some point there'll be good buys again. VIX, volatility index. I've talked about that's kind of a coiling down here. We were up a little bit today. MACD's turned back up, but 0.4% is not much of anything. Off to the sectors. See, 2 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The Industrial Transportation Index had the larger percent gain, up 0.48%. The Oil Service Index was the weakest, down 0.87%. Quick look at the sectors. All right. Let's go over and take a look at the McClellan, which we looked at yesterday. Let's look at it again today. So we're looking at the McClellan. We were up here around 60. We've been overbought. We're actually starting to pull back pretty quick here. So the overbought conditions are kind of being worked off. I mean, we're still obviously a little overbought, but it's not much. I mean, we're really not that bad. Let's go back over here. Quick look at, I talked about the industrial transportation was on the move, so I'll show you what was moving today on the trucking. Trucking is what was pushing it higher. Here's the name of here's some tickers to look at, and then here is percent moves of these truckers today. Arkansas Best was up 8%. YC Worldwide, which is a cheap stock, was up 8%. Conway, Old Dominion, all those will give you something to check out later. Do some homework. Check out those charts, fundamentals, or whatever you use. Now let's go to ChartWatch. Won't go through everything, but I'll go through some of them. Pegasystems, I like the support here around 35. It's a software programming company. I think it looks good. IMAX broke out of its little pennant today with massive volume. And I already talked about Goldman Sachs. I like Goldman Sachs. It's just a matter of time before it turns and turns and goes higher. YGE, I still like it. It's, broke out, flag, kind of flagging back. Still, watch it for a breakout of its flag. Qualcomm looked good today. Keep it on your radar. Brazil stock, this ethanol sugar play. Kosan, I still like it. Possible support here around this 860, 850 area. Intercontinental Exchange still looks good after it broke out of the ascending triangle. The weak market just kind of slowed it down. Same way with CME. CME should have support here at this 335 area. RIT should have, I like it if you can get it right here around this 25.50 area or so to 25.75. Low risk buy point. Sell it if it closes below about 24.75 or so. And of course Apple should be at a support area around this 208 to 207, something around there. Should be a low risk buy point. Green Plains keeps flying. Hogs keeps flying. I still have a small position left in my GPRE and my hogs. I've sold most of it, taken profits. STEX. Crosstex still moving. Bunch of them from yesterday. If you go back and look at all the charts from yesterday, pretty much the same ones I'm going over today, pretty much, except for the few in the beginning. So Urban still looks good. The retail, some of the retails took off. Joanne Stores was looking really strong today. JS. And of course eBay. I like eBay in the symmetrical triangle here. It's just consolidating a little bit, but if retail continues, it'll probably turn and go higher, so as well. Let's take a look at the current market signals. We follow the point and figure charts of the Dow, the Nasdaq, S&P. All three remain on buy signals. All look good. Take a quick look at the Dow. So looking at the Dow, we've been talking about the right here, the breakout 10,500 should be new support, and we hit this 10,550. So far so good. No reason to sell everything. Hopefully you're taking some profits on the way up. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and remember to always invest